I am not the actual contractor that goes out in the field and actually does the physical labor, but I am climbing different aspects of a project site. I had illnesses where hard to diagnose, some of them. Some were respiratory, some were just plain back aches, and nobody could actually pinpoint. I have gone to other chiropractors in the past, in fact, a series of them. And they all said, yes, it's subluxation of your spine, we can take care of that. Outside of immediate relief, the symptoms would always come back. And then it became a little bit more critical as my health started deteriorating. And it became illnesses, it became time off from work because I just could not move. I would be hunched over and in pain. I am an engineer, so I can understand how the structure of the body could influence your health. So I went to one chiropractor, my initial chiropractor, and he helped me. It did help. I found relief, but that relief was temporary. Well, this happened several times, maybe 3 chiropractors, 4 chiropractors I've had. And at one point, I gave up. I said, enough with the chiropractors. I'm not going to do this again. And I was lucky enough to bump into Dr. Ruderman at a street fair here in Nyack. And that changed things. He invited me to get a session done. And I did. I came in. He explained his methodology. And you know what? It really made a lot more sense to me. I said, but I was skeptical. I gave it a shot. And guess what? The symptoms were alleviated, and alleviated for a very long time. And he explained every time something would happen, why it was happening, and what was going on structurally, so I can understand it from an engineering standpoint. What's wrong, what needs to be done. And guess what? What he said was true. So I gave it 3 months, gave it 6 months, give it a year. Guess what? I'm still here. It means I'm happy. It means things are working. Most chiropractors put you face down on a bench and starts pushing in the different segments of your spine, and hopefully it stays in place. Well, his is different. He sits you either on your back, not face down, but on your back, and manipulates your body that way. Or he puts you up against a wall where things are in a more normal stance, structurally more normal for the human body, and puts things into place that way. And that's the difference. Nobody else coaxes the good or the balance of the body. Doesn't coax the spine to start behaving the way it should. Nothing goes back into place immediately and stays that way. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in anything in nature. It slowly becomes that. It adapts. And that's what he does. It helps the body adapt back to its normal functioning, its normal way of being. Well, happier is an understatement, only because happiness comes from being able to function normally. Happiness comes from being able to do things that you weren't able to do before. Happiness comes from not being in pain and being afraid to do something because it might provoke pain. I've been happy. When you come in and you're having a certain problem, he lets you know what's happening at this point. Why are you having this problem? What stage are you in that is causing this thing? Is it good or bad to have? And most of the time it is good, based on what he's been explaining to me. It's good because his methodology is working, but it's not through magic. It has to go through a routine. It has to go through a series of things before it can get back to that normality. And he explains it. He explains it fully. He's like my best friend outside of my house. He's like a person I've known for many, 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 many years, even though I haven't known him that many years. It's a very easygoing, very warm environment. He greets everybody. He has a very warm personality, very open personality, and he makes you feel at home. And he makes you feel very comfortable before and after the session, and during the session as well.